Chuck Schumer calling the Senate a kangaroo court. Yeah, you got one ripping up papers in the House, and you got the kangaroo court in the Senate. Nice job. Joining me now, Lindsey Graham, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator,
thank you.
This is not a true acquittal, they're saying.
Well, come tomorrow, Trump will be president. So all I can say is that Senator Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are no longer in charge of this. Why did she tear up the speech, Nancy Pelosi? Who was her audience? It was the squad. She's lost control of the House. Senator Schumer is going to get primaried by AOC. These people could work with them. They've lost their mind when it comes to Trump. The president was acquitted. This was a ridiculous accusation against the presidency itself. And to my colleagues who voted for a conviction. I think you put the presidency at risk. I don't question your motives, but I sure question your judgment.
You don't question Mitt Romney's motives?
No, I don't.
Think he's representing his people? 70% in his state didn't favor his actions here.
You vote your conscience, but you got to use common sense. Here's what I would say. He voted not guilty on the process argument, obstruction of Congress. They impeached the president for daring to go to court. They impeached the president in 78 days. He never got to call a witness, never got to cross-examine anybody. You couldn't get a parking ticket based on the process they used. Now, here's abuse of power. Are you listening? They were going to remove the President of the United States because he suspended military aid to the Ukraine for a short period of time to leverage an investigation that never occurred. They got the money, and there was no investigation, and they were going to deny the American people the right to pick their own president based on that. That, to me, is ridiculous.
The Federalist reported last fall that a top Romney advisor served on the board of Burisma with Hunter Biden. His name is Joseph Cofer Black. Joined Burisma's board of directors while Hunter was also serving on the board. It's a cute little coincidence, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that drove his thinking. I thought we were all going to be...
It's a swampy, though. Is it not swampy?
Well, all I can tell you is that we're going to look at Hunter Biden. We're not going to live in a world where you take a wrecking ball to the Trump family and you can't ask Hunter Biden, oh, by the way...
You're going to call him?
The Foreign Relations Committee will. I hope they should. Jim Risch, if you're listening, you need to ask John Kerry's chief of staff, what did you do about the email when you were told that there was a conflict of interest? I'm going to call everybody who signed the FISA warrant. I hope Richard Burr will tell us who the whistleblower is. And was the whistleblower working with political operatives on Schiff's staff? I don't know. Let's look. I know this. If a Republican had done this, they'd be looking at us.
How about the IG for the intelligence?
Was there a political bias? I want to know who was the whistleblower, what was their motivation, did they have a political bias, were they working with people who wanted to take Trump down early on in his presidency?
You're going to call the whistleblower?
That will be up to Senator Burr. I hope so, because...
You can't call the whistleblower. Just explain that to our viewers. Okay. Why can't you call at the Judiciary Committee?
There's committees. I have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice and the FBI. I'm going to call everybody who signed the FISA warrant. The Foreign Relations Committee has jurisdiction over the State Department. How did they ignore Hunter Biden's conflict of interest? And just think about it. When Joe Biden was talking to the Parliament of the Ukraine, you need to end sweetheart deals. Don't you think they were laughing at him?
What's happening in New Hampshire on Monday? Well, they got the Democrats are going to rolling into New Hampshire, try to save this whole primary process after this debacle in Des Moines. And now what?
Well, I didn't do very well in New Hampshire, so I'm not the guy to ask, but I can tell you a lot about South Carolina. Joe Biden will win the South Carolina primary. 70% of the voters will be African American. He is well respected, beloved. A socialist will not win South Carolina Democratic primary. Mayor Pete pulled off a pretty stunning thing in Iowa. You're going to have 3 different winners in the first 3 primaries, and impeachment is behind us. The president is stronger today than he was before impeachment. The American people see this for what it was, a vendetta by people who can't accept the fact that he won. This is not over. They're going to come after him again. They're going to call Bolton. They'll try to do something between now and the election because they know they can't beat him. The reason that they tore the speech up is they hate the speech. But here's the good news. You can tear the speech up, but the results of the speech speak for themselves.
It's so great to see you. I know we don't like to keep you up late, but thank you, Senator Graham, for coming in. We really appreciate it. You are not.